If prisoners were made to work a full working week, would they receive a minimum wage or any wages at all? And following this, does the right of minimum wage extend to prisoners? And if they pay taxation, then that should lead to representation by the right to vote.
Wouldn't receive the minimum wage, and they would be working for a full week, but they'd only be getting a small proportion of their wages, £20 I think is the proposal. The rest of the money would be going towards a fund to help victims. I think that's just, and I think that's fair. Well, the minimum wage, as I understand it, will be paid to prisoners, but they won't receive the full amount because for the reason that I've just outlined. I don't think there's a comparison. The money is not taxable, and therefore they don't accrue the same rights as perhaps people who pay tax or people who are at liberty and who haven't committed any crimes.
When we send people to prison at the moment, we sentence them to idleness. They lie about for most of the time, particularly at weekends, nothing happens. And if they are asked to do a bit of work in prisons, for example, work in the laundry or the kitchen, they're paid pocket money. Now this reinforces the view to prisoners that it's okay to fiddle the system, you don't have to pay tax, and that work is very boring and it pays badly, and that crime is much more exciting and it pays better. Now that is not the message I want to give to people in prison. So I think that particularly for long-term prisoners, real work should be on offer, so that businesses should go into prisons and should be employing prisoners. Now that's not on the minimum wage, that's on the wage for the job. So that if they are employed making furniture or packing food or at call centres or whatever it is that people do, they are paid the rate for the job and they're not undercutting people who are employed in the community. Now, once you've got that and they're paying tax and they're keeping their families and they're paying for any of the extra little privileges that they want to get, for example, a television or DVDs or games or a duvet, they then become, I think, much more responsible. They learn the work ethic, they have to do a full day's work, they're working for an outside employer, not for the prison service. And I think that would instill a proper ethic in them so that when they come out, they're prepared for the world of work. That does mean that they must pay tax and they must have civic rights like the right to vote. It comes with the same thing. And I think that the public would find that much more acceptable if people were working, paying tax and keeping their families, then the right to vote is part of it.